Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Postpartum Perspectives, the place to come to hear all things postpartum and newborn care related. I'm one of your hosts, Julia Kavanaugh. I am a postpartum doula, newborn care specialist, and birth doula. And I'm one of the teachers at Gentle Ventures and Postpartum Doula Academy.
And I am Nancy Ham, and I am the teacher at Gentle Ventures. I do a little bit of teaching on Postpartum Doula Academy, but I am not a postpartum doula, so I stick with all the information that has to do with newborns. Welcome to our class. And I just want to say one other thing, and that is I am so proud of Julia. She is also taking her classes to become an IBCLE. Did I say it right?
IBCLC.
C.
That's
I'll
right.
see. Okay.
An international board certified lactation consultant.
Consultant.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, guys, it's a mouthful. But yeah, just to have as much knowledge as possible to help breastfeeding people on their journey. Because gosh, we need it.
Yep,
Need it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Julia, tell everybody what we're going to be talking about this morning. This is going to be so much fun
Yeah, guys,
and informative.
we have a really interesting podcast today. This is all about marijuana. And it's a hot topic, right? I'm sure you are on the fence one way or another. Either you're totally for well, we're talking about its use during pregnancy and during the postpartum period. We're going to talk about why people might be interested in using it, why mothers might want to use this, what its benefits can be, and also what some of its drawbacks can be, and what the evidence-based information is that shows us one or the other. So, just to start out with, what is marijuana? You may have tried it in high school. You may have sworn it off for religious reasons, but whatever your take, it's a plant that is inhaled. Usually, it can be eaten, and it is used often for medicinal purposes. It has it has over 100 cannabinoids, and the most well known is THC. And that is the one that has some psychoactive effects, right? That's what makes people feel really uh, out there. And then the other cannabinoid that it has is CBD. And that is non-psychoactive, but it has the potential to be very calming and anti-inflammatory. So those are the two pieces that people love uh, that are in marijuana. Um,
Okay, so I'm going to tell you just a little bit more about the ways that you can use marijuana
yeah,
because a lot of people are just kind of stuck with smoking or vaping, but those are not the only ways that you can use marijuana. So smoking is absolutely the first way and probably one of the most common ways to do it, whether it is actually smoking or if it's vaping using a vape pen or
yeah,
whatever. So if you're smoking, the smoking like as in a cigarette smoking, the
yeah.
effects are immediate. They are just right away. But it's harsh on your lungs,
Mm,
and it produces tar and carcinogens. So that really isn't any good. So then people thought that, well, vaping is much safer. Well, there is less odor
yeah.
and fewer toxins than smoking, but there's some concern still over the vape liquid and the additives that they put in it. So
Okay.
that's that. Okay, then there's oral adjusted. So there's edibles that we can do, or capsules and tablets.
Nancy, quick question
Yeah.
about that. With the smoking of it,
Mhm.
you mentioned that like there might be additives. Is that even if you take the plant yourself and roll it yourself? Like if you have the leaves, there could be some additive in the leaves that could have like um some kind of tar effect or additive effect. Do you know?
I don't
I'm
know that. I
I'm
don't
just
know that.
curious.
I
Yeah.
I know that my son
Yeah.
grows organic marijuana,
Yeah.
and it's very organic. I mean, he doesn't use any kind of chemicals or anything.
Yeah.
But I would still think that I might be wrong, that there's something in the actual plant that is
Right.
a carcinogen. But you know what? I don't know the answer to that because I am not a smoker or a edible eater or any type of a user of it. I've tried it. I don't
Right.
like it. The only time I tried it, well, that's not true, not the only time. The last time I tried it, I
This is
was like,
confessions time, everyone. Yes.
yes, yes. The last time I tried it, I was like sitting in my chair, vaping. I was vaping.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, no effect yet. Do a little bit more.
Oh no.
Yeah, no effect yet. Do a little
Oh,
bit more. Okay, then about 45 minutes later, I had to literally crawl on my hands and knees to my bed to get into my bed. I could not walk.
oh
That's the last
gosh.
time I did it.
It hit you all at once.
It hit me all at once. Yeah, so, and I wasn't pregnant.
And, and,
Or
and, and
nursing. This was like probably 7 years ago.
so that's an important point. You and I are experts on babies and mothers. We are not experts on marijuana itself, but we've done
Absolutely
this
not.
research to bring it
Yep,
to our listeners. Okay, so please
yep.
continue. I was just wondering if you knew.
No, I do not know. Okay, so
Okay.
then there's the oral. We talked about that's the edibles or the capsules or tablets. And
Mhm.
then there's sublinguals, and that's placed right under the tongue and it absorbs very quickly. They're faster than edibles, and you can do the controlled dosing on that. Some people just don't like how they feel in the mouth, so that's why they're not real popular. And then there's the topicals and transdermals, and that's like a cream or a patch or
Yeah.
some kind of a balm, and people use that CBD.
Yeah, that would be for the CBD,
Yeah,
I
a
think.
lot more. Yeah,
So
and
something, oh, go ahead. Sorry, please.
no, no, that's okay. That's okay. The pros on that are that it's discreet and it's long lasting and it's steady dosing. But then
Mhm.
the cons are that's just a little bit expensive, more expensive than other things. Now I have a person that I know that has a lot of pain,
Yeah.
and they use this. They put this on in a lotion day and night, 2 times a day, and it relieves their pain. Absolutely. So we're not going to go through this saying that marijuana is not a great alternative to pharmaceutical drugs for people who are not pregnant,
Hmm.
who maybe suffer from pain or, like we're going to talk about later, nausea or whatever you suffer from. It can be a great relief.
Yeah.
So I just want you to keep that in mind.
Yeah. So what it does, what I found out that I thought was really interesting was that it interacts with something called the endocannabinoid system inside of our bodies. And that is the system that regulates our mood, our sleep, our appetite, and our pain. Mood, sleep, appetite, pain. That's a lot of things that this one little plant can affect. So of course, like we get the appeal. It's
Absolutely get the feel. But the only thing that is wrong with this is
yeah.
that we don't know 100% what it does to a fetus.
And that's what we're going to get to.
And that's what we're going to talk about
We're
because
going to get there.
that's what the most important thing about this is not how does it affect the pregnant mom because it probably does make her feel better. It
Yeah.
probably does take away nausea. It probably does take away pain. But let's talk about how does it affect the fetus because it goes directly through the blood-brain barrier and goes into the fetus. So it's like the fetus is
Well,
also smoking.
the blood-brain barrier, the placenta barrier.
The placenta. I'm sorry.
The
Yeah,
and it affects the baby's brain.
it
That
does.
it does. So why would moms be drawn to this? You just said it. It eases morning sickness. It helps to manage anxiety, stress, and a lot of moms are drawn to it for postpartum depression. Um, it helps with sleep, especially during the end of pregnancy. Uh, you're carrying a big load in your belly.
Yeah.
Lots of parts of the body are hurting. It really can help to knock mamas out. Um, so that's those are the draws for our pregnant and early postpartum moms. There's a whole group on Facebook that I've learned of recently, and it's just moms supporting other moms in smoking cannabis to
Is this talking about pregnant or just moms?
This is talking about, well, this particular group is moms whose babies have been born, so postpartum, supporting other postpartum moms in smoking while they breastfeed.
Ooh,
And it's just a support group,
yeah.
and they share stories of how all their kids are fine. And like you'll find comments like I smoked through my whole pregnancy, my baby's great. So there's a whole movement towards supporting this. And I think if you're going to choose it, you just need to have the facts behind it and know what you are saying, what risks you're saying yes to.
Hmm.
So let's talk about that.
Okay, so I don't think that when they say their babies are fine, that you can tell if your baby is fine necessarily until they get to be a little bit older and can
Yeah,
start displaying signs of being okay or not.
that's a good.
I looked at the effects of cannabis use on the fetus, newborn, and later childhood.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm going to kind of read you a paragraph that I found that's very interesting. It's real short.
Yeah.
The children of mothers who consume large amounts of cannabis in the first trimester of pregnancy experience higher rates of anxiety as well as behavioral problems at about the age of 2. So it doesn't really kick in till then, apparently. Well, it does in low birth weight and things like that, but not in like attitude things. In addition, at the age of 10, there was a increased rate of depression.
Wow.
As for the education level of these children faced problems in learning and concentration.
Mm.
It is worth noting that the appearance of depression at the age of 10 years old was strongly associated with crime at the age of 14. And so that is one of the, we can put our sources, Julie,
Yes.
when we do this, we're going to put our sources. These are
Yeah.
studies that have been done
Yes.
and verified.
Yeah,
So,
we made sure that all of our sources for this podcast are from evidence-based, reputable sources
yeah.
for all of you. So we'll list them so you can check them out.
Yeah. So I thought that was real interesting because people look at, oh, my baby's fine. My baby's acting fine. My baby is newborn and there doesn't seem to be anything wrong. It's a little underweight, but nothing else.
Yeah,
But then they're not looking for the adolescent age, for
right.
instance.
Right, right. It's really well, and that's tricky too because there's so many variables
There
that
are.
that can happen between newborn and adolescent age that by that time it's I imagine it would be difficult to create a study where all of the outside factors were the same for all of these children.
You have to look at the study.
Yeah.
The study actually lists exactly how they found these people and
Mm,
exactly where their differences were, or if there were differences. I mean, the
wow.
study is really complete.
Wow. Okay.
So that's why I
Okay.
was so impressed with the study that they did.
Okay.
It went into very minute things about each of the families that had to be the same in order for
Very
them to,
specific.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, so overall, because THC, which is the psychotropic aspect of marijuana, because that crosses the placenta, I'm just kind of doing a recap here.
Hmm.
Because THC crosses the placenta, we have associated cannabis use during pregnancy with the following: low birth weight, preterm birth, small head circumference, uh,
Does that
stillbirth.
mean that the brain is smaller? Or does that have anything to do with that?
That is such an interesting question. Yeah,
If a
does
baby has a big
smaller,
head, do they have a bigger brain? I'm not being funny or I'm
no,
just,
no, that's a really good question.
don't know.
I don't actually know.
See,
That's a
we don't may have these talks before we actually get on the podcast.
right, right.
So,
No, but I mean, if that were true, then the Irish would be the smartest people on the planet because we have some of the biggest actual
well,
head
okay,
circumferences.
so that answers the question right there. It is true.
Well, I have friends who are very petite and have much smaller heads circumferences than me, and they are
This is
absolute
smart.
geniuses
Yeah,
compared to me. So it can't be. It can't.
it can't be. It can't be. Okay, we'll go with it
Um,
can be.
but yep. So smaller head circumference. In some cases, but this needs to be explored more. Stillbirth. Um,
Oh, I have something to say about that. They
okay. Wait,
did.
wait, wait.
Okay.
Circle back to that. I'm just finishing the list here. NICU admission. So like babies who being brought over to the NICU, and then potential for long-term neurodevelopmental effects, including attention issues, memory issues, and behavioral issues.
Okay.
Now, Nancy, what was the thing you were going to say about stillbirth?
Stillbirths and miscarriages. In another study that I looked at, it was so interesting because they found that fathers who
Yeah.
smoked 50%, no, I'm sorry, mothers who had miscarriages and fathers that smoked once a week. I don't know how to say this the correct way.
Give it a try and we'll sort it out.
Okay, 50% of the miscarriages that mothers had
Yeah,
could be associated with fathers who smoked marijuana at least once a week.
that was perfectly said.
And that blew
Wow.
my mind right out of the water. And this question was, why? Well, the reason is because when they smoke marijuana, their sperm makes it's not as strong, it's not as good as a man who does not smoke marijuana. So when they make a baby, the baby isn't as strong to survive.
Right. So marijuana affects the sperm's tail, the
Viability.
motility. Yes, yes. The motility. It also affects the the
It,
the
it doesn't affect it so that it moves slower.
yes.
If they move slower, they don't make it because
Right.
some stronger one makes it. It doesn't affect that. It just affects the sperm is actually just it's as fast but not as strong. I don't know how to say that. It's not
Yeah,
as
like the
viable.
gene expression of it is not as strong.
Yeah,
Yeah, how interesting. It's so fascinating
yeah.
that
And that's just
that
once a week. That's
yeah,
not a father who gets high every night. That's if he smokes once a week.
yeah, yeah.
And this is the mother who doesn't smoke at all.
Wow. So if a woman who doesn't smoke partners with a man who smokes once a week.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
And they also said something else really interesting, and that was that
Wow.
sitting in a room with people who are smoking can
Yep.
have the same effect.
Oh, the people we surround ourselves with
Yeah.
really influence
Yep.
everything. Okay, so let's look at the risks during lactation
Oh, okay.
and
Good.
postpartum. Um, so something I learned that I did not know before was that THC, the same compound that we were nervous about affecting the fetus in that list of ways we just talked about, that cannabinoid is stored in fat.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and and it can remain in fat for up to 6 days. And what is breast milk super high in? Fat. So that THC is being stored in the breast milk.
Well, I've got a question about that though, because like when you go apply for a job,
Yeah.
they say you should wait at least 3 weeks before having after you've last smoked. And
Okay.
so that 6 days doesn't sound like very much time. And I'm wondering, Why 6 days would compare to like 2 or 3 weeks?
That's interesting. Though I can maybe they're testing a compound other than THC,
What?
right? Because there are over
That's
a
true.
hundred cannabinoids.
That's true. Okay.
This is just THC that's stored in fat.
Okay.
So I'm sure that other parts of the cannabis plant can be detected for weeks later.
See, this is why I should have insisted my son come on,
Oh,
because
you
he
know
would
what?
know this stuff.
Viewers,
Yeah.
listeners, if you guys want us to bring her son on, who's an expert in the specifics of the plant, let us know, and we will have him on as a guest, and we can do a follow-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really interesting. Um, but in the meantime, I think we're doing all right. We're covering our bases with
Yeah.
this
We're covering.
as much as we can. So, okay, if the THC is stored in the breast milk, then that can cause reduced motor development in infants and impaired maternal judgment and responsiveness. So those are two, one is affecting the baby, one's affecting the parent.
Mm-hmm.
But there really is a lack of data on long-term effects, especially for occasional or low dose users.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has probably been about 5 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, that I actually researched this. And at that time, there were studies in Australia that
Yeah.
said there was no effects. There was nothing. It was okay to smoke and it was okay to do this during pregnancy and breastfeeding. I can't find those studies anymore. I looked for them because I thought that would be a good balance for the
Yes.
studies here in the US that are, and Canada, that
Yeah.
say no, but I can't find them anymore. So
Wow.
that to me was really interesting.
So it's much more unanimous now.
Now it
Like,
is. Yeah. Yeah. I
yeah.
even tried European studies and nope, everybody had the same stuff that we're telling you guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it's pretty clear. Like
Yeah.
it does affect the baby, or it even if it is uh an effect that we can't see, it is going into the baby.
Hmm.
And it has the potential to manifest in developmental delays
Maybe later
or
on. Yeah.
affect them later on with mood, behavior, anxiety.
And the interesting thing is, Julie, that most of moms that are smoking
Yes,
don't know they're pregnant yet. And that's when it is the most costly for the baby.
that's right.
It's when they're first pregnant. And lots of moms don't even know that they're pregnant and they're smoking and they find out and they quit right away.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But there has been an uptake in percentage of the teenage girls who are smoking and pregnant. So in 2006, which was the last study I could find, it was had gone up from 12 to 17%, and I assume now it is much higher. But I didn't
Wow.
see a study on that. But so
Was that
teenage
in
girls,
America or
yeah,
around the world?
I think that was an American study.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Wow.
there's a real, and I'm just going to go kind of off guard here, off subject here right now. We need to find a way to reach the teenage girls.
Mm,
As newborn care specialists,
yeah.
we need to find a way to reach these kids that are pregnant and really need our help. And that's all I'm going to say about that right now.
Oh, I love that.
So
Okay.
let's go on.
Okay. Um, so I think we mentioned you mentioned briefly some ways that it can help. Like why are these teenage girls and young and mothers going towards this? It can help
Yes.
greatly relieve anxiety. It can help you sleep. It can help with mood regulation. But the effects are short term. It does have the potential for dependency or to mask issues that really need attention.
Hmm.
Um, And it actually can disrupt REM sleep cycles, which is REM. I mean, we talk about this with our clients all the time. You need that REM sleep for your body to really restore and recover. So if you're using this plant in order to get sleep, your body might not be getting the kind of sleep that you want it to get.
It
It might
absolutely
take you out
does
of it.
not. Yeah, because I can remember when I did do
Yeah.
weed,
Yeah.
I slept terrible.
Yeah.
I did,
Me too. Me
I,
too.
I just slept terrible. I would wake up and think, oh my goodness, that really was not worth it. That's my opinion. But yeah, I
Yeah.
slept terrible.
I mean, I know some people who swear by it.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, they say it's the way that they get to sleep, but it does have the ability to disrupt the REM cycle.
it does. It does.
Um, yeah, so let's touch on safer alternatives.
Okay.
So, for mood and sleep, I'm just going to list some, and then Nancy, I would love to hear your holistic ideas. Um, So, some safer approaches to marijuana would be therapy, including cognitive behavioral therapy or trauma-informed therapy approaches, postpartum doulas, and newborn care specialist support. We really are a mood booster and we help you get your sleep. Peer support groups, Facebook groups online, medication when necessary, or prescribed by a doctor, and omega 3s, which is the one that I'm the most excited about. So studies have found that 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams per day of combined EPA and DHA has mood benefits for moms. So this supports the brain health and emotional regulation. And a lot of moms who have postpartum depression have low levels of omega 3s. So getting 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams per day of EPA and DHA.
And you can
Uh,
also get that through like salmon, good
Absolutely.
fish,
Good fish. And you want to make sure it's high quality because
not
fish is
farm, not farm raised.
not
Needs
farm
to be
raised.
wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Which is also ironic for a lot of moms too, because they tell us to avoid fish during pregnancy, because of the potential for mercury
Mercury. Hmm.
poisoning. So you want to find a brand. If you take the capsules, I really like Wild Atlantic. I think they make a really nice, pure oil. But yeah, that's actually been shown to help with postpartum depression and to help lift the mood.
Okay. Well, another thing that you can do that is absolutely 100% safe and effective, and that, of course, is homeopathy because I love homeopathy. And so I wrote down a couple of things that will help with sleep. Well, actually, what I did is I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna share screen for just a minute and pull up something, and then where's my thing? Here it is. And then tell you that come on, baby, if you are interested in this chart, there it is. In this chart that tells you the symptoms, what makes it better, what makes it worse,
Yeah.
and then the homeopathic remedy that will work for you. That's very, very effective. And I would strongly suggest that if you have nausea, wait a minute, was this nausea? This is sleep. Just a minute. This is nausea. I'm sorry. I got to put
It's a
this
little
other.
hard for my eye. I don't have
Oh,
my eye.
that's why I said you can't hardly read it, and I can't get it any larger to be on the screen. But
Okay.
I will send it to you if you drop me a line at contact@gentleVentures.com. I'll go ahead and send you this chart, and you can see what some of the nausea remedies are. And then I also have a combination remedy that is supposed to be very, very, very effective for nausea. And then there's always ginger. And when I'm talking about ginger, the best way to do ginger is the raw ginger that you find in the store. It's dried. You just chew on it. And that's probably the best for nausea.
Wow.
Now, for sleep, we have got, just a minute here, we have got a number of remedies for sleep. So you can either go herbal or you can go homeopathic. And once again, I've got lists of these. If you're interested in them, please just drop me a line and I will send you the list of remedies that are good for sleep. Julie, I'll send you one too. Because you said you had a hard time sleeping last night.
That's right.
And I will tell you that every night before I go to bed, probably a half an hour before I go to bed, I take coffee cruda, which is a remedy that helps you sleep. It makes your mind forget that it's so busy that you can't sleep. And I fall asleep right away.
I like that it has the name. I love that with homeopathic remedies, you're taking a little bit of the thing that would be the
Coffee.
coffee. Yes.
Yes, that makes you, that stimulates you. And you
Stimulate.
make a homeopathic remedy out of it and give it to your body so your body can help you sleep.
Yes. You wouldn't think that it would work, but it's amazing that it does. It's Nancy, is it kind of like vaccines in a way?
Yes, yes.
You take a little bit of the thing that ails you and introduce it to the body so that the body can
Yes. Fight it.
combat it.
Combat it. Yes, absolutely. And that's why there's nothing wrong with vaccines. In name, it's all the junk they put in them that causes the
Yes.
problems.
The
So
carrier
that's,
fluids.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you guys want some natural health ideas, just drop me a line. I'd be more than happy to give them to you. And we will put the contact at General Ventures email under the picture.
Yep.
And I'm trying to think. I don't know if I can load this into a PDF and stick it under the picture or not. I don't know if that's
No,
allowed.
I think guys just drop us a line
Yeah.
and we'll send it to you.
Yeah, I think that's probably the better way to do it.
You can also DM us if you're on Facebook.
No,
Uh,
don't DM me. Just, no, please, just email.
don't DM me. Okay. All
No,
right.
because it's too hard for me to get, no, just email.
Contact at Gentle Ventures.
Contact at Gentle Ventures. Yeah,
Okay. Perfect.
yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I think we covered a lot in a very short
I
amount of
did
time.
too.
It's a broad topic, but guys, the information is pretty unanimous that there is an effect.
There is, if you're pregnant or nursing, please don't smoke. It's just, it's not worth the risk right now because we have information, but it's not conclusive enough. Why
Right.
take the risk?
Why take the risk?
Why take the risk? Just don't.
And it does seem like THC is the main culprit from the studies that I was seeing, but we don't have enough information yet about CBD to say
Right.
that it's not also contributing.
Yeah.
Is that what you got too?
That is what I got. And I thought that was pretty sad because I want to be able to give them something. And that's why we give them the natural alternatives through homeopathy or herbs or something like that, because that's much, much safer. So there's that.
There's that.
There's that.
All right,
You
everybody.
wrap it up?
Yep. We hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.